Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be shooting the 22s at 200 yards at that steel target, straight up from that barrel that you see. The barrel's at the bottom of the screen. If you follow that straight up between the opening of the trees, you'll see a white target. It is 2 feet tall by 1 foot wide. Okay, let me zoom you guys back out. And there you go. There we go. Okay, so give you guys a view. You're not going to be able to see the target get hit, but you should be able to hear the dings. This is part of the testing that I'm doing for this scope from Primary Arms. It was the SLX 1 to 10 by 28. It's a 34 millimeter tube. I've already done a number of videos on this scope. There's just so much material to cover that I've been kind of doing it piecemeal. So I'm shooting this at 200 yards. I'm using a 22 conversion bolt from CMMG. Now this rifle, which is a 18-inch 223 Wild from Palmetto, has this scope has been zeroed on this rifle at 100 yards with a 77 grain 5.56. Okay, so when I throw in the 22 conversion bolt, obviously the zero changes, and I'm not changing the zero on the scope. What I'm doing is I'm using the mills, because this scope has a mill grid, and I've covered the reticle extensively in other videos. It has a mill grid. So at the 200 yards that I'm shooting it now, I'm using a 10 mil holdover. Okay, now at 100 yards, it was a 3 mil hold. Then at 150 yards, it was a 6 mil hold. So here at the 200 yards, it is a 10 mil hold. Now, one of the things that you got to be aware of when you're shooting 22s and you're using like a 10 mil hold is your tree branches and your leaves overhead. Okay, because basically with a 10 mil hold, you're basically you're shooting the bullets up into the air in a pretty big arc. So what you want to do is when you're looking, when when you put your 10 mil hold on your target, you gotta look up at the chevron tip, right, and make sure that that chevron is not in any of the tree branches overhead. I did try pushing further back to like 250 yards, and I didn't have enough clearage overhead. So it's not enough to just have a line of sight to your target, but you also got to make sure that the bullet arc clears your treetops. Okay, so that's a concern that you normally don't have if you're shooting 200 yards with a 5.56, because it only rises about 5 inches, right? Let me put the gun down for a second. So with a 5.56, if you got a 50-yard zero, your second zero is at 200 yards, so there's no holdover, right? The highest point is about 5 inches. If you're using the chevron, and again you have a 100-yard zero, basically the bullet's just going to drop a little bit. Basically the bottom of the chevron legs is where your bullet is more or less going to drop. But when you put in the 22 conversion bolt, and you don't adjust your zero, right, now you got a 10 mil hold. Yeah, now you're sending that bullet up into the air a little bit, so you got to make sure that the treetops, the bullet isn't going to hit the treetops. Okay, so anyway, the ammunition that I'm using is Federal Auto Match. You got it from Walmart. I've got like thousands and thousands of rounds of this stuff. It works pretty decent. I've done this test before with different scopes. It's pretty good. If I don't get a crosswind or anything, we should be able to get lots of hits on target at 200 yards with the 22. So it's Federal Auto Match, 40 grain. We're talking bulk ammo. Okay, this is just bulk ammo that I'm shooting. I think it's like 350, I think, rounds in a 325 rounds, I think, in a box. Okay, so you're not going to be able to see the steel target get hit. Again, the steel target is 2 feet tall by 1 foot wide. You're not going to be able to see it get hit, but you will be able to hear the dings. So you're listening to the dings. Okay, so let's do this and see how many hits we can get. I've got 2 magazines, about 25 rounds each, so you guys can count the dings. Looks like I'm a little off. Okay, I was holding a little too high. I actually saw the bullet hit one of the tree branches on the way in. That was just over the target. So the 10 mils has to go to the bottom of the target. Okay. Wind's starting to pick up a little bit. We had a nice run there. I had a number of them in a row. But I can see the wind ribbons downrange are moving. They're not moving here, but they're moving down there. Do a second mag. So when I come off the scope, what I do is I dial down to 3 power so I can find it. Because there's too much stuff out there. You're in 10 power, you're not gonna find it in the trees over there. So I dial down to 3, get on the target, then dial up 10. So I'm not sure what my hit rate is. I don't think it was better. I think it was probably around 50%. I don't think it was much better than that. Like I said, there's no wind here, but I could see the wind ribbons downrange moving. So this is an interesting exercise to do because if I was shooting 5.56, basically the wind wouldn't be affecting me at all. There'd be no challenge, hitting that plate at 200 yards. But once you put the 22 in here, all of a sudden it becomes a challenge. You got to hold over. The wind messes with your bullets a little bit. So it's a fun exercise. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, it's I'm having a lot of fun with the scope. It's the I think it's the SLX 1-10 by 28. So it's a 34 millimeter tube. And I think it's MS10 Griffin. I believe that refers to the type of reticle that it's using. $450. It's I have another one, the M8, which is a $1,500 scope. And in many ways that one is better, but in many ways this scope is like really keeping up with it. Certainly as far as range estimating, wind holds, all that. This scope has all of that. Okay, so $450. I think it's a great bargain. I'm looking forward to taking this out to a much longer range where I can actually shoot 5.56 at some distance and see how it does. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll talk again soon.